afternoon, good evening, folks. Depending where you're at, email away George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, can you believe it? We have a few more days left of March. Time is flying by. It seemed like I used to remember, seemed like it took time to go by forever. But we get too close to my age. I'm almost gonna be 50 in November. It seems like Christmas used to take forever to come. Birthdays, you just have to wait on them. But now it seems like this zoom on through, like boom, like nowhere. So here, as you know, I had this lady. She was recommended to me by a interview of the lovely Miss Erica P, or you might know her as the Barbie Fitness. She's a great lady. She competes in the OCP, she's OC Pro in bikini, and this lady is also a OCC Pro, and she competes in other organizations with a lot of different names of the alphabet in it, and she also is in EPC in bikini. We have here the lovely Mrs. Jane Fleischman, and she is from the state of Georgia, and she's an engineer, a mother, a coach. I mean, she's a very versatile lady. So, man, we'd like to welcome you and thank you for coming through and sharing your story. So, this is a question I always ask you, ladies. What got yourself in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
Well, actually, it came as a recommendation from a friend, or started telling me about a bodybuilding that competition she had done, and at the time I was doing CrossFit, and I've done all kind of sports. I've been in athletics ever since I was a kid. Started out an organized sport like softball, and then did track and field and cross country, and I was a collegiate rower. I've played golf, basketball. I've kind of done it all. And when I got into my 30s, around mid 30s, I kind of got into CrossFit. And that was a thing for me for a minute. But I was never really competitive in CrossFit. I mean, I'm a pretty good athlete, but, there's just it's all age and also just body type makes it really hard for me to be super competitive in CrossFit. But I didn't do it that long either. So, I could have probably been a lot better had I really kept with it. But there's just a reality too. And so a friend was like, hey, why don't you try bodybuilding? And so it's just a different discipline. You train for it much differently. And you're really chasing an aesthetic with bodybuilding rather than performance, like you are with CrossFit. So I suppose that was about 2019. That's where that suggestion of bodybuilding came about to me. So just through a friend, they're like, hey, why don't you look into this? I'm like, all right, I'm game. I'll try. I've tried about anything. So I'm just like, okay, yeah, let me try this.
Yeah, because I think a lot of ladies get into it especially you had athletic background. That's the more typical story how to get into because they wanted to find something different. CrossFit's been around for a long time. I think it's even more popular than bodybuilding because you can still see it on television compared to bodybuilding.
Right, right.
Yeah, I know quite a few ladies who either started out doing CrossFit and switch over to bodybuilding, and I've seen some ladies who did the reverse also, jump from bodybuilding to CrossFit. So you do bikini, which is a division that it's kind of popular because I think it's very aesthetically pleasing to the eye compared to other divisions with women competing. And what made you decision to compete in that division?
Just in my genetics. So if it were up to me, I would love to be a bodybuilder. I think that is, while it might not be pleasing to some people, I think that is a very nice aesthetic, a female bodybuilder aesthetic. Now, there's different levels of that, and it looks a lot different. It tends to be a lot different between natural and unnatural athletes. So when I say that, athletes that cycle on gear versus not. And when I talk about that, I'm just going to say it I don't care what people do. It's not a moral thing to me. I don't view it as, any kind of way other than for me, I just, you get concerned about your health. So, but as far as if I could be a female bodybuilder, I would be, but I have a genetic limitation with my body. I'm a small frame female. I'm tall. So I mean, I have a lot of muscle considering, but it's very difficult for me to build that mass and that volume, um, with just different body types. I would never be competitive. Maybe physique, or fit body in a natural federation, but that would be hard pressed. Like if I wanted to do that in NPC or IFBB, it would be I would be fighting an uphill battle with my genetics, especially if I wanted to be a natural athlete. So, I mean, but it's just that's really the only reason. I was a figure athlete, a natural figure athlete, but I was never competitive, because I just couldn't get that width in my back and my quads, my lower half. It's hard to beat ladies that are like a few inches shorter than me and just a little bit wider, maybe a little bit better bone structure, to build that mass. But I mean, I love muscularity classes. I love doing the poses. So, I mean, it's just that's really the reason that I do bikini is because I'm very competitive in it.
Yeah, because it's still, I think, a growing division. And you say you compete in OCB and also other organizations where it's natural bodybuilding. But if you look compared to it, everybody likes the like level of the NPC now because like this is my guy who I follow, AJ at the Female Bodybuilding Challenge, says we like the big freaky chicks, and it's just a level of muscle because I've been following bodybuilding for a long time, and the sport has evolved over years. I remember people like we were talking with my friend of mine. We were talking the other day. People like Richard McLesh and Corey Everson, those women, how they started. They were the precursors for certain divisions. Then you go over, evolve to Linda Murray and to Kim Zabesky, and then you go up from that to Iris Kyle, and also to who is my favorite. She is. I'm gonna pull up here for. I know she's my favorite because I'm a simp for her, and that is Andrea Shaw. And and right now she's working with a lady who done her show before, Sid Gillan, and they're gonna have a show coming up this next weekend, and that is the Triple O Dynasty. And you competed at Sid's Peach Classic. What's it like, meeting Sid? Because she is the queen of figure.
It's like she's one of those people that just it doesn't matter who you talk to. So I've heard about her from like I have a friend that knows her well, knows her family, that has known her a long time from the very beginning. There's competitors when I did her show, there were competitors that had worked with her or talked with her, and like everybody whoever talks about Sid has nothing but good things to say. So, that's where I would, that's where I would like to be. And I hope people can say about me as a competitor, like, there's not a single person that says a single negative thing about that lady. And like meeting her, she was super sweet and gave like the best hugs. She gives the best hugs. And I really admire her. I don't really like fanboy anybody. But I'm kind of a fan of her and Daraja. Like I like them both, Daraja and Bikini, and then Sid and Figure. But she's just, and also just admire her because she's a machine, man. She's a
Mm-hmm.
machine. I mean, next day after Olympia, training, getting
Mm-hmm.
ready for the next one. But she's just a super sweet, down to earth. Like, and for her show, like, if you needed anything, she replied or her mom replied. Like, very hands on, very just a real person. Like I said, very grounded, but just a sweetheart. That's what everybody says, and that's been my experience too. So.
Well, that's a good thing about because that's what I heard about her. Also, like also about Andrea, and I'm gonna fanboy because I admit this. If you guys who follow my channel know me, I'm a muscle person. I admit that I fanboy over Andrea, and I admire these women who get into sport and how they compete and they train. So, also as I said earlier, you was an engineer. So, uh, how long you study, or you have a master's degree and other things, or
So I went to Georgia Tech to get, to do that, to get my engineering degree. And it's actually an applied, not a master's, a bachelor in applied psychology. It's a bachelor of science though. And it's mainly like you could go to direction of clinical or you could go into direction of human engineering or ergonomics. And I really wanted to get a job in ergonomics or anything like that, human use, design for human use. And I applied for some jobs out of school, but it's really a niche thing, and especially in the Southeast, there's not a whole lot of jobs or industry and jobs for that, for human factors engineering. So I ended up being like a quality manager, and quality engineer and supplier quality engineer, and kind of specialized in materials and coatings. And so did that, and then I also was a teacher at one point. I have a master of arts in education. So I taught for 5 years right out of college. Um, you know, while I was trying to find an engineering job, and that was a good experience, but I never want to go back. That was wild. Uh,
What were you teaching? Were you teaching high schoolers or high schoolers?
oh, I taught high school like 4 years. So I was a sub, a permanent sub, and they needed a teacher that could teach chemistry and biology. And so I did that for a year at the high school, and then I specialized really in middle school though for my career. Once I officially got my certification, so I knew the content obviously just because I had a great educational background. And then I had to go get that certification so that I could be alone in a classroom by myself and be a teacher. So I did that, and it was middle school. So the really can be volatile personality. I loved it though, and I loved the students. The students were great. It's just the system.
Yeah, and then you think about, you got these boys coming in puberty, and you got this teacher who's long and tall. Is Miss Jane coming to school today? I'm being real nice, Miss Jane. Hey, Miss Jane, how you doing?
All the students were cool. I never had any issues or nothing like that. They were super fun. And I just rarely had a problem with students. But I also understood at the end of the day they're kids. So if there was some kind of attitude or whatever, they're children.
Yeah, I know it is. Like I said, I grew up a family with a lot of kids. Sometimes we can be a handful, but if we respect an adult in position, especially authority position, we respect it. But not kids today are kind of wild. So, folks, as we said, talking to Jane, we're going to jump into social media for a bit and look at some pictures and videos. I know what you guys came here for because, hey, Jane, every time I get a new girl on here, they act like the episode of Chappelle's Show when Charlie Murphy meets Prince. And Prince hanging out with this guy named Mickey Free. Now they thought Mickey Free was a chick, but he's actually a dude. And say, "Hey, yo, Shamar got a new girl. She fine as a motherfucker." This how they act sometimes when they get a new girl here. So we're jumping to social media. And guys, I got a rule for you guys. This is a nice lady. It should time out to talk with me. And instead of get her social media stuff, is in the description of this video. But do me a favor and be respectful. No deep pics. Stop it. Get some help. Come on. Don't be weird. Don't be that guy. So here is. This is where. When did you make your debut as a competitor?
When did I make my debut? So I made my debut. Uh, so people have the impression that I've been doing this for years. I have not. This is actually, I've only been it's almost exactly 2 years since I started competing. So I made my debut in March of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've done 15 shows.
That's a lot of shows. With bikini, I think it's a faster turnover compared to like women's bodybuilding and physique, and I think even figure. You know, but here she is with Sid Gillan, the legend, 7-time Miss Olympia figure champion, and she might even tie Linda Murray for 8. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And here it is. This is a picture here. This is from one of her shows here.
Oh yeah, that was a show I just did. Immortal Muscle, OCB. And that Magnum and Jackie are the promoters for that show. That was a really good show. But yeah, so I come in I come in looking like I guess what they felt like that was actual feedback. That's not me just throwing words around. They said you kind of look like NPC IFBB. You're very, very conditioned, very hard. And I was very conditioned last year and very hard. That's kind of physique I bring. But the difference is that I do have volume this year. So one judge said that she felt I was a little too muscular
Oh,
for bikini class.
Yeah, because I've seen this. I remember Erica sent me this video where you just showing off your abs. They don't want too much abdominal definition, especially in the bikini class, and they don't want too much gyration in the glutes. That's in IFBB. If I don't know if the same thing is in the OCB too.
Yeah, so IFBB, I mean, like all those girls have abs. I know that my core is particularly developed. Um, but frankly, I don't plan on changing that. If I take some deduction on it, okay, that's where I plan to kind of try to be perfect in every other field or area. Because I really need that core strength to. I'm still interested in performance in terms of like the any CrossFit workouts I do or just in general, and that core strength is actually really essential for me. So I really don't plan on modifying that. I plan on just making sure that everything else is really buttoned up to basically in a scoring situation make up for it. I just don't feel like changing my physique. And people are like, well, you can't get upset about results. And I'm like, I'm not upset about results, ever. I mean, but I'm going to be honest, they're just, it's disappointing when you don't do well and you bring like basically a really great physique to the stage. But it is what it is. If I work my way out of bikini, that's fine. I'll do that.
Well, here's your little girl, your husband, and
Yeah.
what's your husband's name? Your little girl's name?
So that's Lauren, and her name is Winter.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
And how long you and Lauren been together?
So we've been together. Gosh, I'm like the worst to ask about anything like this.
Mhm.
I don't know birthdays. I don't know anniversaries. We've been together though since I guess like 2018-ish to 2019. So we've been together that long, and we are coming up on our fourth fourth anniversary. Yeah.
And he also you a coach also opposing and you
Yeah.
he was a couple of ladies. I know saw a
So,
picture with
yeah, that's Erica Fitness Barbie, and that in the middle that's Regina Perez. So she owns Beauty and Beast Mode, and so she does like training, personal training, and posing clinics and posing. So we have all kind of options for like virtual, group virtual and individual virtual in person clinics. She has a lot of stuff popping, and we have a conference coming up that's available to competitors, and people will be able to find that on my social media. But it's in July 20th. But it's $100, but it's like and it's a full day of like a posing clinic and also Q&A with a bunch of pros. So, but yeah, so I work for Regina. I only do posing though. I'm only a posing coach.
all right. And here you saw you were hunting out for deer. It's rare to find women that like to hunt. I mean, I think guys would love that if they can take the girl out and say, hey, baby, we'll go hunting. And most guys, most women like to hunt. They hunt for bargains. You know.
Yeah, well, I love hunting and fishing and all that. It's just the reality is I used to do a lot more fishing, a lot more offshore fishing, pre baby. But it's kind of hard to go off for that long. I don't really want to leave my kid behind like that, and I don't really have a lot of options in terms of childcare. So I do primarily bodybuilding at this point, and when I can go offshore, I go offshore. When I can go hunting, I go hunting. But I don't get to do it as much as I did. So as the baby gets older, that'll change. But right
Yeah, I
now,
think. Yeah, I think she's still young, and maybe when she gets to where you can teach her the everything she needs to know, and maybe she wants to go out there and
oh
hunt
yeah,
with her mama and daddy, and
all
have
day.
me. I shoot guns when I was younger, but my brother used to hunt, and one time he got a bear, and
Yeah,
he was gonna put the bear meat in my mom's deep freezer. My mom said, "Don't you put that bear meat in my deep freezer?" So he had to put it someplace else. So anyway, now you compete in OCB, also NPC and other organizations. And OCB is the natural organization. I know I was talking with Erica how also there's a lot of stuff different because you don't take performance enhancers compared to like the NPC competitors. There's a strategy a little more natural in NPC, and also there's something she showed me that they do lie detector tests on you.
Yeah, so I actually started with WNBF. That's where I got my first two pro cards, and then I just recently, won my pro card in OCB, and that was basically a permission to play within the organization. It wasn't a validation of me as a pro because I'd already been competing as a pro. But WNBF and OCB are closed organizations, meaning that even if you're a pro, they don't recognize outside pro cards, just like NPC or IFBB don't. Like you have to compete for one. So even if you've been competing as a pro, you do that. But yeah, so Erica, yeah, she competes. She's competing in NPC and OCB, but yeah, it's quite a bit different. The natural field as opposed to the NPC IFBB. Even I feel like the stage is a little bit different for NPC. Even like what would be the natural shows and the polygraph. So yeah, you take a polygraph, and any winning, if you place or win, well, if you win any money, you get tested. Also, your analysis. So. But it's a quick polygraph. It's like 15, 20 minutes. It's not like this 2 hour ordeal.
Yeah, I know. I remember one time I was in a situation where somebody robbed our store, and I used to work at this gas station, and they come to me say, "You know about rob the store? You want to take a polygraph?" So yeah, I take a polygraph test. I've not got nothing to hide, but it never came back to me. So as you've been competing and going through in this sport, what do you like about the sport of bodybuilding overall as a competitor?
Um, that's a good question. What do I like about it? Uh, really for me personally, they're good markers. They're motivating. So like when I register for a show, I'm like, this kind of motivates me towards a physique that I want for myself. So yes, I do have these ideas of like the different titles that I want and the success that I want within bodybuilding. Um, but that's what I like the most. And then also I like the community. Uh, for the most part, most of the competitors you meet, y'all are all grinding away, doing the same thing, doing the same stuff, have the same goals. So, you really are able to identify with a group of people that truly understand what it's like to diet, what it's like to prep, what it's like to train, the things that you kind of have to put on the sideline for a little bit in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve, because not everybody gets it and not everybody wants to do that. um, but I like that, and I like that, and while this may be a controversial statement, and other people have said it before, um, I think it's open to everybody. I like that. Anybody can really do bodybuilding. I know that we say athlete, but it's not really an athletic endeavor. It is a difficult discipline, but you don't have to be agile. You don't have to be quick. You don't have to be particularly strong to bodybuild. You can still build your body and build muscles with low or mid weights, like so. It takes a lot of discipline and consistency. It is very difficult, but it's not necessarily this crazy athletic endeavor. So I feel like it's very much open to anybody of any age, male or female. I think
Yeah,
that might be why I like it the most.
yeah. And also, I think genetics is also a good factor because sometimes you have to have good genetics for the sport. I think, like I said, one thing is you're doing the natural style. Even the ones who do take the influence answers, steroids is just not enough. You have to have, let's say, again, consistency, follow your
Yeah,
diet, be prepared, and also there's so much to it that's involved to get that next level. And you have to, like I said again, you have to be determined because sometimes some people get sidetracked by little things. Here we got some people coming through. This is my man Davis Adams. He's saying hello. Wait for Davis. Um, this is from my man, my brother KL the Wanderer. He's a hater, and he says, "Hey everyone," and he also likes the question. He says, "What do do you want to stay in bikini in the long run?" Like I said, she wants to go up to other divisions, but with her genetics, she feels more comfortable in bikini because it works with her because she's tall. Because I think you're how tall are you?
Uh, 5'8" or 5'9", one and two. 5'8" is the last time they measured me at an NPC show. So
Okay.
always thought I was 5'9", but then they said, "Oh no, you're 5'8". Okay.
What somebody told me is this: when you lose a lot of your excess fat, especially the bottom of your feet, the padding, you lose an inch because that's fat that's
Yeah.
from your body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, um, this is from KL says that's well put in this discipline than a sport. Yeah. And also this is from David says nice jacket. So what's on your jacket? What's this? Let's see it.
Oh, so this is a hoodie. It says "Stay Faded." It's actually what my cousin, who passed away, he was a barber, and he used to do fades, and so that was his kind of his name for his business and everything. So I just kind of wear it in honor of him. So his name was Forrest Floyd. And my first cousin is named Forrest Floyd, and his son was named Forrest Floyd. But yeah, he was a barber, and it's just kind of a in remembrance and to honor him. And my cousin, he has hats and everything, and I'm actually going to be giving some of these hats, Stay Faded hats, out at the Florida Pro that I'm doing. It's USBF show in June.
Hmm. Oh yeah, so sorry for your loss. I don't have to lose a family member. I get fades too because my hair's not as thick as it used to be because I'm getting older now. It's starting to thin out. I'm getting like my mother. My like this comedian said, your mother had hair like steel. Your daddy had hair like wool, steel wool. So here, this is from my man Davy says. Sorry for to hear that. And appreciate that, Davis. And also, KL says, was you in the military? Well, he's looking at your hat. Are you? Did you ever serve or it's the hat?
No, I've never served. I just like camo hats and American flags.
The pickup trucks and your country song right there.
You
so
know, I'm just a
so
hillbilly. No, I didn't serve, but I'm just a hillbilly. I tried. I almost served. I actually went through MEPS and everything for the Marine Corps my last year at Georgia Tech, and um, I had paperwork in, and then my mom died in a car accident soon after I graduated Georgia Tech, and I called Sergeant Baker, and I was like, I gotta stay home with my dad. I don't know if there's anything you can do. And they held my paperwork. So I never went.
uh,
Yep.
well, I'm sorry about your mom because I can tell you this. I lost my mom about 4 years ago. My mom was my woman. I loved her. She got sick and she had gotten the virus and because she was already sick anyway, it happened. And I also did this. I was taking ASVAB. I had an 88. And I was thinking about joining the Marine Corps myself. I was even getting up doing running, but after a while, I got a job, and then when you get a job making some money, it's just hey, you know.
Yeah.
so anyway, you know, as we all know, the competing as a bodybuilder is very expensive, especially for you women because the cost of everything from you going to the shows, you did 15 shows in 2 years. I mean, your suits cost you like could be anything from if a decent suit might be $1,000, anything else to be like a little more. Um, the training, the regiment, also tanning, everything. You know, do you have any sponsors or everything's on your shoulder?
Everything's on my shoulder. So I actually this year have some opportunity for a little bit of sponsorship to help out. So Beauty and Beast Mode. So Regina Perez, like she's going to sponsor me for a show that I'm going to do. So she's going to help pay for registration. But yeah, I mean, no, I don't have anybody paying for this. I pay for it myself, and like as far as suits, I mean, there's no way I'm paying $1,000 for a suit. Every suit, like people like your suits are so beautiful. I'm like Muscle Dazzle, $300, $400. I mean, and they're full of stones. There's no reason to pay 600, $1,000 for a suit, in my opinion. They're like, well, they're those Swarovski crystals. I'm like, it doesn't make a difference on stage. It's not going to make your physique better. And I mean, they really all look the same. They look beautiful. And actually, I'm making one of my own suits now. I think you pay a lot for the tedious labor of maybe applying crystals, but these are not, in my opinion, crazy. Especially when you're talking about one color suit. No way I'm paying like $1,000 for a suit unless a sponsor wants to pay that for me. Absolutely, but I'm just, my physique is going to be the highlight, not my suit. But yeah, no, I buy suits and they look really nice and they're like they're solid, they're full of stones, but they don't have to be expensive now. I mean, I know there's some popular brands that are $600, $700. Nah, bro, I ain't.
Yeah. I know some lazy. Sometimes they would do this. They'll either get used suits, get rent a suit, or sometimes they even make their own suits. And that's a lot of work to put into it. What's the name? Say Bikini Dazzle,
Muscle Dazzle.
Muscle Dazzle. You see me, I think I showed you some ladies because I know some ladies, especially in the amateur level, might maybe need a little thing to help because the cost of being a competitor is very
Yeah, Muscle
yeah.
Dazzle and Lux Kini is actually Lux Kini is based in the Philippines. This is Philippine lady that I won one of her suits, and when I won a pro show, I won a free suit from her, and that's really nice. So Lux Kini, so I'll send you that link too. But um, yeah, I've seen the really expensive suits up close, and they don't look any different than mine. I mean, and I do,
Yeah.
but I also can tailor my own suits, so I do everything. I do my own makeup, I do my own hair, I do my suits, I do my modifications, and that's where I save a lot of money. And I know a lot of people don't do all of that, but I literally do it all. I've done my own tan. Um, yeah, yeah. You don't have to have a crazy expensive suit. It might make you feel better, but like I said, is I think there's a minimum in terms of the suit, and then everything else is really your physique, what you bring to the stage. I mean,
Hmm.
you got a
Yeah.
banging physique, you can go up there in a practice suit.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is that it's about the things about being a competitor is tough, and like my other guy like says, what doesn't make you stranger make you stronger, and to compete and to work out and to train. Like, what's your regimen like? Like what's your daily workout like for you?
Oh, it's crazy. So because I have not been competing long, but I've been super successful. But that's come with a huge, basically, imbalance. Not, I have a very healthy family life, a very healthy marriage. I'm a stay at home mom now with my child. So I gave up engineering. I gave up my career to stay at home with my child. So I train 2 or 3 times a day, every day, every day. So I'm training 4 or 5 hours a day. Um, I'm eating protein every 2 hours. A minimum of 20 grams of protein every two hours, and I'm sleeping anywhere between 12 and 14 hours a day. So it's wild. I train a lot, but I'm trying to have a certain amount of success in a certain amount of time. And there's a reality of my age. I'm 41. I look great for a 41-year-old woman, but
Yeah.
especially one that had a child like 3 years ago. But I have to kind of try to expedite things as much as possible. So training a lot, resting a lot, and also being on top of my diet. So that goes into our conversation, or my statement about people who cycle, who gain a bunch of weight in their off season, and people who stay kind of lean. Is I In terms of what I want to achieve, I don't have an option to really get crazy with my weight. I'm going to have to stay lean, be in a surplus, a minor surplus in my off season, but you're never going to see me again. I tried it. I tried 30 pounds overweight. It was wild, but no, I'm going to stay within 10.
Yeah, because we a while back, lady who I interviewed, if you remember, who followed my channel, Claire Crowther, and she is a trainer and coach. She's an NBC competitor in England, and she posted something. I'm going to share with y'all because I always want to. We had a little discussion, me and Jane, about this, but some people agree with it, but she has a different opinion. So we're going to post this show this real quick. Claire is she was a bit overweight. She's also a mom. So here we go.
The off season is difficult. I work with a lot of women who struggle themselves to cope with the changes in their body when they go from being competition lean into an off season, and I am no different myself. It's very difficult to let go of the shreds of, you know, the way that you look when you're lean for a competition, but it's not healthy to stay in that position for a long period of time. So it is important to embrace the fact that off season is a time where your body is much healthier, you will get stronger, you can make the improvements that you need to make for the next time that you compete, if you decide to compete again. But it doesn't make it easy. So it's something that you do have to adjust to, and you have to give it time. Just having that realization, staying competition lean is not healthy. And also that being off season doesn't mean that you look bad. You know, again, it's about having that mental attachment to being lean and seeing that competition lean is what is healthy in your head. Having that association of competition lean is how you look when you're fit is something that you have to break. So, you know, and realizing that for the vast majority of us in off season, we actually do look pretty damn good, but we have to remember that our minds have got used to looking a certain way, and that is something that shouldn't be, you know, strived for year round.
Shout out to Clara. She's a great lady. I got the pleasure to interview her a while back. And that is always going to be debate that how what's coming in conditioning, coming lean. I know with bikini, y'all women don't need as much muscle mass compared to I would say physique or even the girls in women's bodybuilding or figure. You come in a lot more. You just I think it's more natural lean division, and that's why it's an easy turnaround for shows because I know I talk about this on my channel how there'll be like in a year there's gonna be like 100 bikini shows, and then this year for women's bodybuilding there's like barely 10. So your rebuttal on that, ma'am?
Hmm?
Your rebuttal on that, ma'am?
So percent body fat is percent body fat, no matter if you're super muscular or not. So, like I said, like for a show, I say, and I told you this, I get around 6 or 7. That's very lean for bikini. That's very lean for a bodybuilder, a female bodybuilder. So that's just shredded, right? No matter
Healthy in your having that.
No matter the muscle mass that you have. But you know, the thing is that that's also coming from somebody that probably works. They probably deal with gear, and I feel like that notion is really pushed by people in the in NPC or IFBB or other federations that are not natural because it can accelerate metabolic processes. So if you have an athlete who gains like 40 pounds, even a bikini athlete that gains 40 pounds or a figure athlete that gains 40 pounds or 50 pounds, I mean, I know I have a friend who does that and she's a rock star. She's a natural athlete. There aren't a whole lot of people like her though. There's a lot of people going to struggle getting that fat off in order to compete. And I also just really question the hormonal changes in women in doing that and cycling through, and pushing food. Like, I don't know. I really question my food, my diet doesn't really change all year. What I manipulate when I get ready for competitions are carbs and cardio. That's it. I mean, I don't drastically change my diet. And you find a lot of competitors that may take this lady, and she may not be saying that, but they take the advice like, oh, well, I'm going to completely change my diet, like the foods they eat and everything. It's like, no, like we're talking quantities, maybe quantities, but I just think that a lot happens that we don't know about, especially in terms of women's health, in cycling through extreme leanness and then being well over that in terms of body fat, going up to a really high percentage, like 20, 25, 30% body fat in your off season, and then trying to narrow it back down to under 10. That's wild. That's wild to me. So I don't know. I don't think that's sustainable. People are like, you can't stay near stage weight. I'm like, absolutely you can. Like I feel perfectly fine right now, and I'm probably at like 10 or 11% body fat, and I can get back down really quickly if I need to. But yeah, I don't think it's sustainable to be like stage weight shreds, like 7%, 6% body fat. But a surplus is a surplus, right? Why do you need like 20, 30, 40 pounds of fat, like, or weight, or more weight? Like, I don't really understand what the thought process is with that. I mean, as long as your vital organs and your muscles that you have are getting the food and nutrients that they need. I mean, like I said, if you're over, you're over. If you're at a plus, you're at a plus. Or a minus, or minus. It's not. I don't feel like it's that complicated, and I feel like people try to make it super complicated.
Well, there's so much to it, especially it's a lot of psychological part about it. Because some people feel like if I say just lean and shredded, this is how I look. It's an image they want to portray. But also it's for their fan base, a lot of who are on social media, and also we got guys here. There's a smoke saying like when you ladies rock hard, we're rock hard, and it's just a particular look that I think is they try to obtain. I think especially women, you have a natural lot or higher BMI than lower BMI, higher BMI than men. Men, we can come to, I think what is it? I think anything under 12% is considered unhealthy for a woman. I think that's somebody told me, because I do content on MMA and mixed martial arts, and those ladies have to do like weight cuts because
Yeah.
you're fighting. Yeah, because you might be walking around at 150, and you have to fight at 125. And I've seen some women either faint, dehydrated. I mean, I remember one of my favorite fighters, Chris Cyborg. She had to fight at a catch weight because at 140, and she was nearly dying, because they were sweating it out, and it's like you're just taking all that fluids out of you. We have here. This is from my man K. Elder Wonder. He says, "Who's your favorite bodybuilder in any division?" So, I don't know if she follows anybody in NPC and IFBB, or she knows she likes. If you hear earlier, she's a big fan of Sid Gillan.
Yeah.
Who's in your organization? Who's somebody you admire, you like?
Like yeah, like I admire Sid Gillan and Daraja, and Bikini and NPC. Like I followed them, but I like Sebum. I follow him. I just like his personality. I like his approach. I like his thoughts on things. I liked his interview with Chris Williamson that he did. I think he's done actually a couple of them at this point, but but I don't really, let's say I don't really follow them all the time. I don't follow everything that they do. I'm not, I'm very much Jane.
You're just laser focused on you. You want to get to the top. You got to like a man, Rocky Balboa. It don't matter how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can take the hits and keep moving forward.
I'm not interested a whole lot, to be perfectly honest, in all the history and all the people of bodybuilding. I'm just not. I'm interested in bodybuilding. I'm interested in the mechanics and the biomechanics and all that goes with bodybuilding. I'm not interested in necessarily the people of bodybuilding. I mean, I do have respect for folks, and it's not like I don't respect what they've done. But as far as like researching and knowing all the different people who did this or introduced that idea, no, I'm good. I'm more interested in finding different ways to train, anatomy, bodybuilding, not the history of, not the people of it. So, there's things that I don't know about some of the organizations that I participate in, and that might be interesting information, but I mean, it's not really useful. So if it's not useful to me in bodybuilding to achieve what I want to achieve, I don't, I'm busy.
Well, as me as a content maker, it's something I need to know and be
Yeah,
educated on.
yeah.
As my master taught me, Ra's al Ghul, the demon's head, always be aware of your surroundings, young master way. Never give a sure footing for a killing below. So here we get a comment from a man, KL. I think he's a fan here. He says, she looks 31. Yeah, she says she's 41. I wouldn't think she was. I thought she was maybe 28. I mean, also he says here, he says that's crazy. Buy $1,000 suit and you might not get placed good. Yeah, it happens sometimes, but it's about the what some people feel like it might work for them. Suits is very most important, especially for a competitor, their mindset. And also here, how long has she been competing? Well, she has been competing for about a couple of years now, and 15 shows in a couple of years. I mean, you're determined, ma'am. I
Guess
mean,
a lot of people don't do that, and it's like 7 years. I mean, it's a
I,
lot. So like a lot of people, what maybe do 2 or 3 shows a year, maybe. you know so it is wild, but it's me getting experience in bodybuilding and competition, finding where I stack up, not being afraid to go out there and compete amongst different federations, natural and unnatural. Um, so it's just like I said, I have very particular specific goals that I want to work towards, and time is not on my side. I'm one of the older competitors, and I mean that'd be good. I have mature muscle, so that's an advantage that I have over over a lot of amateur competitors, and a different mindset. I have a lot of grit. But yeah, so I just got to get out there and keep competing and grow when I need to grow.
yeah. You get that true grit. One of my favorite classic movies is a Clint Eastwood movie called Outlaw Josie Wales. He lived for the grudge. And like I said, it's tough. To compete, to get up in the morning. I know there's times we want to spend with your little girl, or you want to do something with Lauren. He's out there working and take care of home, and you have to be, focused on what show I'm going to do, which show is going to get me that trophy, or and are you planning on doing any shows this year? Are you coming back to NPC, or you going to stay in OCB?
So I did, and I got my OCB pro card just in February. So I won the Masters and amateur Bikini Open. So I won both pro cards, and then I just jumped right in 4 weeks later and did Immortal Muscle for OCB. And I got second in bikini class tall, but like I said, I got feedback. They just felt I was too much, too conditioned. One lady felt I was a little bit too muscular for the class. I thought I brought an amazing physique, and I did have a great physique. It just didn't meet the criteria for what they felt like pro bikini should be. They're just one lady said they're trying to mitigate women coming in kind of super hard for bikini in OCB. Um, but it just depends on who you're on stage with, I think, and there's like bigger stages, more competitive stages. Results could be different, and panels are different. I mean, everybody has a different interpretation, and then the people you're standing by have different strengths and weaknesses every time. So I did that, but yeah, I'm doing USBF. I'm going to do a natural, just because it's close. It's not because it's natural, but I'm doing a natural NPC show in July, and I'm doing a WNBF show in the fall, and a couple more USBF shows, maybe a USBF championship, and I've been invited back to do NGA's championship show in November because I got second in Masters Bikini. And so if you placed, you automatically qualify for that championship show. So I'll probably do that in the fall.
Yeah, because I was chatting with Erica. She was thinking about doing some shows around here because she lives here. She lives in North Carolina, and this is a couple of EPC or OPC show, old CB shows coming up, and she's thinking about doing some of those. And it's a lot. Like I said, I gotta respect your work ethic because it takes a lot. Do what you ladies do. Like I said, I don't do a lot of content on bikini because I'm more a fan of women's bodybuilding. But as a content creator, I want to expand myself, and I have. I've interviewed ladies in bikini in the IFB and in the NPC. Most of my content is mostly women's bodybuilding, but really, y'all women who compete, you really put the time and work into this, and people need to understand that it's a lot. Not like one of like the quote, the great Ronnie Coleman. Everybody want to be a bodybuilder, and don't want to lift his heavy ass weight.
Right.
Yeah. So after your last show, what was that thing that was calling your name? What did you and Laura and Little Winter did after the show? What did you get to have a little supper time?
Oh, sushi and oatmeal cream pies.
I
I'm basic, y'all.
okay, quick.
I mean, like, or like the Girl Scout cookies are called Samoas, but I do like the cheap brand.
Ooh,
I do like the dollar store Clover Valley. Same thing in my mind. I don't care what y'all say; they taste the same, and they're like a fourth of the price. So I'll do some Samoas from the dollar store, or like Keebler. They have their coconut dreams. No, that's the same thing as the Samoa. But yeah, those cookies, an oatmeal cream pie, it just hits right. You can't really get better. That's the best damn treat there is on the market. I'm
I
gonna say.
I love a nice honey bun. I eat a oatmeal cake.
Yeah.
You
It,
know,
it,
yeah, and those
it,
Girl Scout cookies. Yeah, those Girl Scout cookies. Yeah, those Girl Scouts, they're like crack dealers. I mean, let me show you. Later, I'm gonna see you this video. This guy's name is Tony Baker, and he was talking about Girl Scouts. It will cut you up. How and it's like I said, food is very important to as a competitor. You how you grow, how you develop. What you eat. And the right foods can help you. The wrong foods can hurt you. It can be
right.
both weapon and a tool for you. So, folks, we're not gonna hold Jean too much longer, and we do appreciate the time she has given us. I know she's a busy lady. She got a baby to take care. The man got to come back home. It's almost, he getting up and say, "Where's my dinner?" So, and we appreciate her support. Wish her all the best of luck. So, as you know, she is doing everything on her own,
Yeah.
and it's
Oh
tough.
yeah. One man show.
Yeah. So if anybody interested in sponsoring her, and you have genuine interest in sponsoring someone like Jane, don't be that weird guy and say, "Hey, I saw your last show. You're tall, drinking water there, Jay." No, no. Stop it. You say, Miss Fleischman, we have a plan for you. And if you're interested in it, you have a great look to you. We'd like to sponsor you, maybe even buy your suit and take care of all your other needs. So if you're interested with our plan, it works with you, and it's something that you feel that will further your career, we want to sponsor you. So if you're interested, let us know. We have a contract and we have a good deal. If you like our product, we'll back you. So that was something I think will probably interest you. Would you think?
Yeah. Just know, I am happily married.
They don't
Happily.
care.
If
They
you
don't
will
care.
even bother to read my bio in Instagram, I say I'm a wife. There's a reason I say I'm a wife. I'm happily married. I love my husband. He's a complete stud. He's the most amazing man I've ever met in my life. So
You got
I
Tarzan,
love
huh?
my family. Like I'm not exciting, So
So, hey,
I'm not an
Jane,
exciting person. So don't slide into my DMs with weird stuff, please.
see,
God, no.
guys like nowadays don't care. They just they're looking for something. There's some guys looking for something strange for some change. That's just how it is. But folks, but this from man Davis. He says respect. Yes, respect this lady. Respect these women who compete in the sport. These are women who have a passion for it. Be they are like IFBB level, NPC level, OCB, PCA, all these organizations. These are athletes. Maybe not the athletes of the standard everybody think of, but they're athletes and deserve respect, recognition. It's a lot tougher because, like I said, one thing is, you look at in the end of bigger organizations, the money goes to like the bigger division as men's bodybuilding, which I call the bottom bitch. You know, that's what it is. The pimping game, they are the ones making money. I talk about this about Arnold Schwarzenegger thing like that. I love Arnold. I watch his movies. And Arnold and Schwarzenegger and Tiger and that. But you ladies deserve just as much. I think if you give a competing one of you $100,000, that can really change your life. I mean, right there. I mean, think
I,
about it.
yeah, like, man, yes. And like it would be it would be wild to get like $10,000. That would take care of my whole season, man. Like I am so budget as a person. Like I don't even stay at host hotels a lot of times. I get Airbnbs because they're cheaper. Like I am like the most budget, high performing budget athlete you might ever meet. Like for real, I'm like so budget. People don't know. Like I will learn to do it myself before I pay somebody to do it for me.
You know what? You should do a online class helping these competitors to budget. finding things they can do. That'd be something that really work.
Yeah, that might be a good thing. I'm just like, well, let me tell you all the budget things that Queen of the South does. But yeah, I'm super budget. Like I'm the best high low person you'll ever meet, especially when it comes to competing.
Well, I think a man would love that. Say women to save money because some women they want to spend, 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 spend. Thank God I'm a bachelor. I stick to that. I had one woman that was my mama. She took care of me. I took care of her. But that is, you have a good plan. You stick with it. It'll get you far. And maybe someday, it's if you can maybe hit the right show, hit nationals, we might see you in the IVB. Step with the big dogs. You might, I mean, that could be something also for you in the future.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I definitely think I have a competitive physique, whether gear or no gear. Like I can hang with them, definitely.
Hmm.
So I have really good potential in that arena if I want it. So we'll see.
Yeah, this is a comment from a man, Michael Boyce says, Fleischman's yeast was popular in the '60s. That's it's a brand of yeast that I don't know, he's just like I said again. Sometimes I get some strange guys come in there, but they're fans.
Well,
So
they have vodka and they have Fleischman other products too. But yeah, that's just
so
my
is the
husband's
butter.
name. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So folks, we like to thank Jane for coming through, and we wish you all the best of luck in the upcoming season. This is like I said again, even though it's not the division I really focus on, but
Yeah.
I really learned some stuff when I do these interviews and reach out to women like yourself, like Erica, and I've also interviewed ladies who are, as I said again, in the IFBB who competes in bikini. I've interviewed ladies in the amateurs, and I really got to respect your commitment, and passion for a sport. It's again, it's not a very lucrative sport. A lot of time, a lot of money you put into it. It can beat you down, like Rocky said, but some days you just got to keep moving forward. And sometimes the quote, one of I said my big fan of Batman is from Batman Begins. Reason why we fall, why do we fall? Because we learn to pick ourselves up.
Right.
Yeah. So, folks, we do appreciate for Jane coming through, and we wish her best of luck. So, you have anybody you want to shout out before you head out?
I definitely want to shout out my cousin Forrest Floyd and Stay Faded. You know, and also Regina Perez, Beauty and Beast Mode. I'm a posing coach for them, but she also offers um, personal training, competition training, posing classes online, in person clinics. Like I said, we have this one weekend clinic planned for folks. So shout out to them. And yeah, that's about it. Shout out
Oh,
to me. I would like to thank me.
you sound like it's like I remember was it who was it? It was some rapper. He was talking about how I think it was Snoop Dogg.
It
I
was
remember,
Snoop.
yeah, Snoop. He did that. He said, that's when I think he got his Hollywood Walk of Fame thing. He said, shout out to me.
Yeah.
So, folks, we'd like to thank the lovely Miss Fleischman for coming through. We appreciate it for her time. We hope her all the best in her career. I like to thank people who came through. My man Davis Adams, my brother KL the Wanderer, Michael Boyce. All you who watch this video, follow, subscribe. And so again, her social media stuff is in the description, guys. And you know my rules. I know you saw the pictures. She's a tall drink of water. She got a nice body, but she's married and she has a kid. So no D pics. Stop it.
And I'm old. Okay.
You're not that old,
Okay.
sweetheart. You're not that old. I'm old. I mean, I got two bad news like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I got a bad back, and I got But here we got one more. This is from coming from this is my brother,
Big up.
Execution 23. Salute George Page. Thank you, brother. He just came back from the Philippines, and you know. He goes to the Philippines every year. He just came back just a few days ago, and this is from a man. Mike Boy says, Susan Hoff is 65. You still look 27. Hey, that's pretty good.
I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
take it. Yeah, so folks, so again, you want to follow her, follow social media, check her out, support her. If you're someone also who's a competitor, and instead of getting her and Regina and several other ladies, they do posing clinics.
Yeah.
If you're interested in maybe working with them, maybe working on your posing, like I said, her social media subscription, you can follow her and follow them, and maybe help you in your upcoming shows. So, folks, I'd like to thank y'all for again. Appreciate y'all for coming through. I'd like to thank the lovely Jane, the Queen of the South. Shout out to you, and appreciate all your support. Support these ladies. This is a tough sport. They have commitment and passion, and they can use all the support they can get. And also, again, if you're someone interested in sponsoring, have genuine interest. Don't be that weird guy. Don't be that weird guy. Anyway, folks, season me all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. Have a good evening and good night.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.